The laughter echoed in my ears, a twisted melody of mockery that still haunts me. I stood in the middle of our living room, a canvas draped over my shoulders like a cloak of dreams, ready to unveil the very essence of my soul. My heart raced, a drumbeat of hope and defiance. "Mom, Dad, I want to become a painter." The moment hung in the air, thick with anticipation. But instead of support, I was hit with a storm of derisive laughter. My father, the embodiment of practicality, shook his head in disbelief. "You, a painter? You'll never make it. You're just embarrassing yourself and this family." Each word cut deeper than a knife. Each chuckle felt like a brick thrown at my dreams. My mother, once my biggest cheerleader, now wore a mask of disappointment. "You could have a stable job, a future. Why waste your time on this ridiculous fantasy?" Their words echoed in my mind, a relentless chorus that drowned out the passion that had ignited within me. In that moment, humiliation washed over me, but it lit a fire within. I turned away from their ridicule, my heart heavy yet resolute. "I'll show you," I whispered to myself, a promise forged in pain. I grabbed my canvas and fled into the night, leaving behind the laughter that had once been my family. The years that followed were a blur of struggle and relentless pursuit. I moved to a small town, surrounded by artists who shared my dreams, yet struggled as fiercely as I did. Each day began before dawn, my fingers stained with paint, my hands trembling as I tried to capture the visions swirling in my mind. I worked odd jobs to pay the bills, waiting tables, cleaning houses, anything to keep my dream alive. There were nights when the weight of my ambition felt too heavy to bear. I'd lie awake, haunted by my family's words, the doubts creeping in like shadows, whispering that I was a fool for thinking I could succeed. But every brushstroke I made was a step forward, a defiance against every "you can't" and "you won't" that had ever been spoken to me. Months turned into years, and slowly my hard work began to pay off. I had my first gallery opening, a small, dimly lit room crammed with hopeful artists just like me. I still remember the night vividly. Anxiety coursed through me as I set up my pieces. My heart raced as strangers wandered in, their eyes gliding over my work. But then, one by one, I saw the spark of recognition, the flicker of appreciation that ignited my spirit. And then it happened. A renowned art critic, known for his discerning eye, stood before my painting, a piece reflecting the chaos of my emotions and the struggles I had faced. I held my breath as he leaned in closer, the room falling silent. With a nod and a smile, he declared, "This is talent." Those words felt like a salve to my wounded heart, a validation that had been denied to me for so long. As years went by, I continued to rise, my name whispered among the elite of the art world. I had exhibitions in Paris, New York, and Tokyo. My work was sold for prices I once dreamed of, and my paintings hung in homes where I could only imagine. I had become everything they said I couldn't be, but the triumph was bittersweet. I hadn't returned home since that fateful night, yet I knew it was time. I wanted to confront the very people who had deemed my aspirations a shameful folly. So I packed my bags, my heart a mix of apprehension and resolve, and made the journey back to the house that once felt like a prison. The familiar sights hit me like a wave. My childhood home, the worn porch swing, the oak tree that had stood witness to my dreams. My heart raced as I knocked on the door, each heartbeat a reminder of the journey I had taken. My mother opened the door, her eyes widening in shock. "Is it really you?" she whispered, a mix of disbelief and emotion flooding her voice. I stepped inside and the air was thick with unspoken words. My father emerged from the kitchen, his expression shifting from surprise to something unrecognizable as he processed the reality of my presence. "What are you doing here?" he asked, almost defensively. "I came to show you what I've become," I replied, my voice steady despite the tremors of anxiety weaving through me. I pulled out my phone, showing them images of my work, the galleries, and the accolades I had received. Their eyes widened in disbelief as they scrolled through the images, each one a testament to my journey. I could feel the weight of their judgments pressing against me, but I stood firm. I'm not a disappointment. I followed my dream despite your laughter. I'm proud of who I am now. Tears welled in my mother's eyes, and for the first time, I saw something shift in my father's gaze. A flicker of recognition, perhaps even regret. I'm sorry, he finally murmured, his voice breaking. We didn't believe in you. In that moment, a powerful silence enveloped us. Their acceptance washed over me like a healing balm, and I felt the chains of their disapproval shatter around my feet. I had risen from the ashes of their ridicule, my spirit unbroken. I was finally home, but this time I was not the child they had belittled. I was a force of nature, the artist they had never seen coming. With each heartbeat, I understood that the journey was not just about proving them wrong. It was about proving myself right. And as I stood in that living room, surrounded by the very people who had once doubted me, I embraced the truth. Dreams are worth fighting for, and sometimes the most profound victories come from the ashes of rejection.